Stay with me past all those old family pictures that adorn the walls and sit down with me here at Granny Marble's kitchen table for a big old heaping helping of chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. Now, I had to do it all myself today. I'll pour the iced tea, too, because Hop Sing went to see his girlfriend in San Antonio this weekend, so I'm on my own, and I hope it tastes as good as his. Ag weather will surely taste as good because it's going to be a pretty day here and down in the farm country. Mostly sunny, 81 the high, 55 the low. Saturday, sunny, 81 the high, 61 the low. Sunday, sunny, 83 and 65. Monday, 85 and 65. Tuesday, the 10th, 83 and 56. Wednesday, the 11th, sunny, 81 and 62. Thursday, the 12th, 81 and 59. And then a 50% chance of moisture on Friday, the 13th, and Saturday, the 14th. Between the 2 days, neighbor, we might get 13 or 14 points. 80, the high on Friday. A thunderstorm possible Friday night into Saturday. And Saturday the 14th, 77, your cooler high with a low on Sunday morning of 53. Neighbor, there's your ag weather through Sunday the 15th with its high of 79 and less than a 10% chance of moisture. Neighbor, let's take a look at those commodities of ag interest. According to barchart.com, we'll see how everything has begun to trade this morning. And I always remind you, don't use these to make a trade. It's just a snapshot of a price in time. December corn, 409 even money, down a quarter. January beans, 1102 even money, down 1 3/4. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat, down 3/4 at 562 1/4. December number 2 cotton, down 87 at 69.20. December live cattle up 37.50 at 108.72. January feeder cattle up 70 at 136.10. December lean hogs down 182. It's 65.60. Your December U.S. dollar index down 261 points, now down 276 points at 92.23. And your December West Texas Intermediate crude contract down 94 at 37.86. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest.
Rumensin presents Trusted by Generations. Headquartered in Amarillo, Texas, Cactus Feeders has been producing high-quality protein at their feed yards in Texas and Kansas for over 40 years. They work hard each day to make sure the beef they produce is safe and nutritious. Director of Nutrition Kendall Carr and General Manager of Wrangler Feed Yard Randy Shields have been working together at Cactus Feeders for 20 years. We asked them what they view as the most vital ingredient in their success. For Kendall, trust comes before anything else, and that includes doing business with a handshake. Beyond trust in their partners, Kendall knows it's important for consumers to trust the beef they consume. Randy believes it all comes back to the handshake deal. That when you make a commitment, you follow through with that commitment. Both Kendall and Randy are proud to carry on the legacy of helping people learn and grow in the beef cattle business. Rumensin has been trusted by generations of cattle producers to help build their legacy. What will your legacy be? Explore more legacy stories at trustedbygenerations.com.
Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Focus on Ag. The Farm Bureau's Kerry Martin is at the mic. Kerry, what's our topic?
Agriculture loses years of experience in Washington. I'm Kerry Martin with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. This is a week of political uncertainty, but one thing is for sure. There will be a new chairman of the House Agriculture Committee in Washington next year. That's because the current chairman, Democrat Collin Peterson of Minnesota, was defeated Tuesday night by his Republican challenger, Michelle Fishbaugh. Minnesota Farm Bureau Director of Public Policy Amber Hanson Glaser says Chairman Peterson has been a champion of agriculture for many years.
Chairman Peterson has served Minnesota agriculture and agriculture across the country so well and has made such a big impact for farmers and ranchers. And he will be missed. His leadership and experience will definitely be missed in the Ag Committee.
Randy Russell of the Russell Group says if you combine the loss of Peterson with the retirements of Senate Ag Committee Chairman Pat Roberts and the retirement of our own former House Ag Committee Chairman Mike Conaway, both the Senate and the House Ag Committees will lose decades of experience.
If you look at Collin Peterson, he has been in Congress for 30 years. and as two-time chairman of the House Ag Committee. Pat Roberts, who is retiring, has been in Congress, either the House or Senate, for 40 years and been chair of both committees. Mike Conaway, retiring, has been in Congress 15 years. If you take those three members, that's 85 years worth of experience, wisdom, knowledge, leadership that is no longer there. Now, obviously, others will step up and I'm sure do a very good job, but it's hard to fill those shoes, that void of three people that have been such strong advocates for production agriculture and the food industry. So I think it's going to be a bit of an adjustment.
Russell says there will be several new faces on both the House and Senate Ag committees come January.
There's no typical growing season. Each one brings different challenges. So what if this year we do something different? Like stepping up to Altura, a powerful at-planting technology from Nutrient Ag Solutions. Step up to extended nutrient efficiency and plant performance. Step up to better productivity and profitability in your fields. Take your fertility program to the next level with Altura, powered by C2 technology. Talk to your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant or visit lpi.ag/stepup to learn more.
Conventional wisdom says that you get what you pay for, and conventional wisdom is right. You won't find Crystalix in the bargain aisle, but it will always get optimal performance out of your cattle. Whether you feed it in a steel or plastic barrel or our sustainable single-trip bio barrel, Crystalix is more than just a supplement. It's an investment. With Crystalix, performance is served. Visit Crystalix.com to find a dealer near you. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I'm ringing that dinner bell today because remember Hop Sing went to see his girlfriend. Chicken fried steak and jalapeno gravy turned out really well. Iced tea's a little bit sweeter than most, and I did forget to put Nanny's yeast rolls in the oven, so they'll be out here in just a minute, but I know they'll be good, so just hold your horses, if you know what I mean. Here's somebody that finds it hard to hold her horses. She's a little country ball of fire. Her name is Madison Bexley from Lockhart Livestock. They sell them every Tuesday. Maddie, good morning to you, first off.
Good morning, Larry. I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. How was the sale?
We ended up having a pretty good day. We had 1116 with 174 cows and 16 bulls, 182 sellers, and 79 buyers.
Let's walk the pens.
On the sucker cows, we got along pretty good this week. We didn't have any sellout sets of cows, so the quality was just fair. The good pairs would have brought from 1,000 to 1,350. The mediocre, middle-aged, and plain cows from 475 to 975. The better end of the breds from 8 to 950. The mediocre and middle-aged from 5 to 775. The plain end from 310 to 475. The packer cows and bulls both a couple to $3 lower on the packer cows, and we didn't have any super high yielders this week. Better end from 48 to 58. The medium yielding from 38 to 47. Low yielding from 20 to 37. The good high yielding packer bulls from 81 to 87. Low and medium yielding from 50 to 80. The calves and yearlings still pretty much steady with a week ago on a good active market. The quality of cattle this week was real good, and that always helps us. So
good.
All in all, it's a good day.
Do you know of anything for next week?
I don't yet. Hope we get some business drummed up this week, and man, I hope we get some rain.
Yes, we sure need it. We can all pray for that. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you, Madison.
Yeah, Larry, you can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-50-9793. Or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Neighbor, I want to remind you about my friends, Stephen and Terry Lehman at Lehman Pipe and Cattle. They've got used sucker rod in 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch, and they've got used oil fill pipe, the #1 structural, straight, no holes, splits, or heavy scale, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6 5/8, 7 5/8, 10 3/4, and 16 24-inch diameters. Also, from time to time, they see some #2 pipe available at a reduced price. Truckload discounts and delivery also available. They also have cattle guards. They make them from 10-foot wide to 30-foot wide, depending on the customer's needs and wants, with or without wings or cross gates. Also, the heavy-duty concrete beams to set them on. Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Email them at lehmanpipe@gmail.com or call Stephen at 979-966-3447 or Terry at 979-820-8155. That's Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Neighbor, I sent the cowboy crew up to help Ken Jordan from Jordan Cattle Auction disperse cattle that were sold yesterday. Ken and I spoke just a little bit before midnight last night because that's when the sale was over and his report was ready. Ken, how did it go?
You bet, Larry. We have an excellent run today. We ended up with more than I thought. We had 3,357 head today. I thought overall the market this entire week moved a lot higher as compared to the previous weeks and everything, with a really choice offering of cattle on hand today. The 350 to 450 pound steers, I thought they moved right at $10 to $15 higher, with the balance of the stocker steers selling probably 5 to 10 higher. Had 9 steers, weighed 507 today, bring $1.72. A little over $872 on those. Again, the heifer side, the 350, 450 pound heifers, I thought were 10 to 15 higher also, and the balance was probably 5 to 10 higher. I did have a draft of 31 heifers, weighed 567 at $1.37, a little over $777 on those. Very, very strong on those heifers. The feeder steers, I thought overall they were at 5 higher, had 14 steers that weighed 635 pounds, brought $1.41 and a half, right at $899 on those. Feeder heifers are probably also $3 to $5 higher. Getting the packer cows, I thought overall they moved another $2 higher. Bulls pretty well steady. And you get into our little special bull sale we had today, the 30 Hells Ranch Angus bulls, they averaged $4,137. They range from $3,100 up to $6,250. The Charolais bulls we had on hand today averaged $34.38. The Brangus bulls averaged $23.75, and the Hereford bulls, they averaged $28.20. So overall, very good day. A lot of good cattle and a very, very strong market, Larry.
What do you know for Mason come Monday?
Got several groups of calves that are coming on. This market kind of has moved up like it has this week. I got a group of about 60 really good Angus calves, and another group of 50 that I know coming right now.
Good.
Then keep everything in mind. The big barber sale, we're going to have about 80-something head, 85 head of real good Hereford bulls and Express Ranch Angus bulls next Wednesday. That'll be on Wednesday at 11 o'clock here at Cincinnati Jordan Cattle Auction. Give us a call, area code 325-372-5159. Also, we got a lot of information on those bull sales up on our website at jordancattle.com, Larry.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? I'm in Cottington County, South Dakota. I'm walking with Pioneer farmer Greg Willis. I'm here because Greg is dealing with some sort of fungal disease in his cornfield, and I'm going to identify it. I'm not a farmer, and I don't have a degree in agronomy, but I do have the Pioneer Seeds app and the Threat ID feature that comes with it. This is a new tool from Pioneer. All you have to do is take a photo of your crop. The image recognition technology will do the rest, and it puts the expertise of Pioneer agronomists in the palm of your hand. Gonna take a pic here, and the results are in. Gray leaf spot. Hopefully that means something to you, Greg, because it's way beyond my pay scale. The Pioneer Seeds app. Another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, now some of you might want to attend a livestock auction on a Saturday. Josh Tilkey's going to have one. Josh and Corey Tilkey, Karnes City Auction Company, little auction up on the hill there at Karnes City. Josh, tell us how they sold last week.
Well, on Halloween night, we had right at 300 cattle. Everybody was sure watching the market and watching the election this week. It ended up being quite a bit better than it was the 2 weeks prior.
Let's walk the pins.
The good steers, 2 to 3 weight, 125 to 150. 3 to 4s, 136 to 165. 4 to 5s, 130 to 145. 5 to 6s, 126 to 138. 6 to 7s, $1.15 to 133. Heifer mates, 2 to 3, $1.20 to 145. 3 to 4s, $1.25 to 130. 4 to 5 weight heifers, $1.20 to 130. 5 to 6s, $1.15 to 125. 6 to 7s, $1.10 to 115. Older bull yearlings, 85 to $1. Older heifer yearlings, 80 to 95. Bred cows, 7 1/4 to 950. Pairs, 850 to 1,000. Number 1 yielding packer cows, 48 to 58. Number 2, 25 to 36. We had 115 sheep and goats. Very strong market on those right now as we're capitalizing on the holidays coming up. So any of those that are butcher ready, bring them on in, and we've got plenty of buyers for them.
What do you know for this week?
Larry, it's Thursday evening. We have 140 on hand. A couple of little sellouts totaling about 30 young cows, Brangus, and then some red Brangus and Gert crosses. We're going to palpate those, maybe a few pairs, but mostly palpates and quite a few yearlings to wrap up the evening. I think we're going to have a little better run, a little stronger market come maybe 500-600 head come Saturday morning.
Tell everybody how to contact you, Josh.
If you can use any of our services, we're here at the barn, 830-780-3382. or on the cell phone 830-623-2855.
And the motto down there?
Long live Cowboys, Larry.
Thank you, Josh. You know, I've told most of you, if you've listened to Down on the Farm, you've heard this story. I worked for a veterinarian in high school in the first 2 years in college. Wanted to be a veterinarian, but calculus and trig ate my lunch right out of the lunchbox I took to class, so I didn't make it. But I learned a lot. And I learned that some of the viruses that pets have, our dogs or cats, could be transmitted to humans and vice versa in some form. Dr. Bob Judd talks about that on today's edition of Texas Vet Report.
The Avian Journal reported in September that over 12 dogs and 10 cats in the United States have been infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into Texas Vet News on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'm Dr. Bob Judd, and we always get lots of questions about COVID-19 affecting dogs and cats, and they can get infected. However, the numbers of infected dogs and cats is very low considering the number of people that have been infected. There may be some dogs and cats that are infected which are not tested because they are not taken to the vet, or symptoms are mild and they respond to symptomatic treatment and no testing is performed. A cat in California was positive for COVID-19 and died, but the cat also had a heart condition. A 9-year-old German Shepherd in North Carolina was euthanized due to chronic respiratory disease that was intermittent from March to June. A 2-year-old dog in Texas tested positive to SARS-CoV-2 but did not develop any symptoms, as this dog was tested because the owners tested positive. A dog in Georgia developed neurologic symptoms and was euthanized, but the neurologic issue was not related to coronavirus. A dog in Arizona tested positive and had signs of respiratory disease but recovered, and a cat in Texas tested positive and showed no clinical signs. Dr. Ryan Wallace with the CDC has been tracking these cases and indicates all of the dogs and cats that developed severe illness had some sort of underlying health issue, just like many humans that develop severe illness. SARS-CoV-2 was not identified as a cause of death in any of these cases, but it could have contributed. Most dogs and cats diagnosed with COVID-19 have not required treatment, and most do not show clinical signs. So unless your dog or cat has an underlying condition, SARS-CoV-2 is thought at this time to be unlikely to cause a major problem.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? Well, this is the first time it's taken me outside the continental U.S. I'm at Pioneer's Trade Integration Facility in Puerto Rico. We're about a mile away from the coast, and I can smell the sea. I'm going inside one of the dozen or so greenhouses that make up the complex. A lot of trade integration happens here in Puerto Rico because the warm weather provides 4 growing cycles of corn per year, so new ideas can get to farmers quickly. It's a very important step in the pipeline. Once traits are incorporated into a new corn or soybean line, they can protect the plant and its yield potential against stressors like insects and herbicides. The Trade Integration Facility in Puerto Rico. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
I'm Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, when you hear Jalisco on a Friday, it's time to start thinking about Saturday sales and a cow buying party, and they'll have one in Lexington. Lexington Livestock Commission Company, Russell Heller and crew. Russell, what do you know that's headed our way already?
Yes, sir. I know of 15 head from one customer so far, and that's all I know of.
How are they bred and what do they weigh?
They weigh kind of 450 to 600, and they're Charolais crosses. Is
that the kind of animal that you got coming through most weight and bread-wise this week?
Yeah, most of the time right now they're kind of 375, 400 up to 600 pounds this time of year.
What are your cows looking like that are coming through?
Mostly cull cows, no replacements.
What's the turf like in your country? Is it still holding on? Is your ryegrass and oats coming up?
It's up a little bit, but I mean our coastal is pretty much gone. There's a few places that you can still see a green tint to it, but most of it's dark and dormant.
And I guess y'all are, like everybody else, in need of a drink?
Yes, sir. We could sure use the rain, that's for sure.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for the sale on Saturday at Lexington.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
We'll talk to you Monday. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of the Texas Wildlife Radio Show with Jessica Dommel. Jessica, what's our topic?
CWD rules. I'm Jessica Domel with the Texas Wildlife Radio Show on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Deer hunters in certain parts of Texas will have to take special precautions to prevent the spread of chronic wasting disease. Alan Kane, the White-tailed Deer Program Leader for the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, joins us with more.
Hunters that harvest deer in a chronic wasting disease zone, and we've got 5 of those in the state now. There's one up in the Panhandle. There's a zone up there, one in the Trans-Pecos, one over there by Del Rio in the Val Verde County area, one in that South Central Texas area around Medina, Uvalde County, and then another one up in Kimball County. If a hunter harvests a deer in one of those zones, they're required to have that deer sampled. So it's mandatory sampling of hunter harvested deer in those zones. And they can bring a hunter harvested deer to the check station that's established in one of those zones. And our biologists are working those check stations, and they'll pull a sample and submit that to the lab for testing. Again, you can check online on our website to find out the different locations of the check stations within those zones and the hours and dates of operation.
Hunters also need to be mindful of carcass movement restrictions in those zones.
It only allows you to take out quartered deer. You can't take a whole carcass out of the zone. You can take the antlers out of the zone, but if you're going to take a whole head, you have to have a deer head waiver, and you can get those at the check station there, and it allows you to take it directly to the taxidermist if you're going to get that deer mounted. But if you're not, then you need to leave, like the brain material in those parts in the zone, and hopefully at the site of harvest or on the ranch you're hunting at.
That was Alan Kane from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. A list of CWD check stations is available on OutdoorAnnual.com.
Conventional wisdom says that you get what you pay for, and conventional wisdom is right. You won't find Crystalix in the bargain aisle, but it will always get optimal performance out of your cattle. Whether you feed it in a steel or plastic barrel or our sustainable single-trip bio barrel, Crystalix is more than just a supplement. It's an investment. With Crystalix, performance is served. Visit Crystalix.com to find a dealer near you.
There's no typical growing season. Each one brings different challenges. So what if this year we do something different? Like stepping up to Altura, a powerful at-planting technology from Nutrien Ag Solutions. Step up to extended nutrient efficiency and plant performance. Step up to better productivity and profitability in your fields. Take your fertility program to the next level with Altura, powered by C2 technology. Talk to your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant or visit lpi.ag/stepup to learn more.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
Neighbor, let's take a look at our grains and cotton courtesy of John Tuggle, Tuggle & Company Corpus. Call 800-288-4453. John tells us that even with all the higher markets in the grains and oilseeds, local cash trading remains pretty quiet. Remember to email him with your questions, john@tuggle.com. Corpus Christi Milo, November delivery, D's plus 220, 1124. Yellow corn, Corpus Christi delivery in November, D's plus 40, 449 and a quarter. Hard red winter wheat to Corpus in November, D's plus 75, 638. And we'll call Placido beans, November delivery, November less 60, 1041 and a quarter. Neighbor, it looks to me like our Texas cotton prices look like this. 3,122 bale of East Texas, 2,842 bale of West Texas, 5,964 total, average price $66.19. That's it for Down on the Farm, neighbor. Make it a grand Friday, and y'all have a good weekend.